What's up, everybody? It is I, your favorite gay-looking straight boy, Hunter Avalone here, back with another glorious video. Today, I am finally doing it. After so many requests, I am finally gonna take the political compass test. Will I finally be confirmed by this political compass test to actually be the soy boy, the triggered SJW Marxist? Or maybe I'm a tanky, maybe I'm a fascist, who knows? That's why we gotta take this test. Now I know this test can run a little bit long, so I wanna jump into this in just a moment because first, I gotta let you guys all know about my brand new website, hunteravalone.tv. Head over to hunteravalone.tv and you can sign up right now for only $4.99 a month to access exclusive content on virtually any platform. You can download the Hunter Avalone app on the Play Store, App Store, Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV. It's literally everywhere, and for less than a Big Mac, you can get a minimum of 2 exclusive videos a week when you sign up at hunteravalone.tv. So get exclusive content and help to support the channel right now by going to hunteravalone.tv. Thanks everyone for listening to me ramble on about my sales pitch. Now let's actually get into this political compass test. If economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. Ideally, it would serve both, but if you have to choose between one or the other, you should always choose humanity. So I'm going to go with agree on this one. I'd always support my country whether it was right or wrong. Strongly disagree with that. I think that you have to be willing to challenge your country in order to make that country better. No one chooses their country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Strongly agree. I actually agree very much with this one. I find nationalism, this pride in your country crap, just as cringy as being proud about being straight, being white, being gay, being black, whatever. These are unchangeable facts about yourself, so why take pride in something that you really play no role in achieving? It's really silly. Our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. Good. Nice one. Yeah, strongly disagree with that one. Sorry, alt-righters. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I'm gonna disagree with this one. I think that there are times where it can be advantageous for certain political groups to recognize the enemy of their enemy as their friend. However, ultimately, this mentality is really dangerous and leads to bad outcomes. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. I will agree that sometimes, yes, it is justified. However, it would be best and ideal for us to follow international law, of course. There is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. I think that a lot of people can be politically influenced in a positive way through entertainment, but of course you can also be politically influenced in a negative way through entertainment. And I think for a lot of people, there is a worrying mentality that it's all just for entertainment. Like these people who their entire politics are just own the libs. It's like they have no actual policies, they don't care about doing research, they don't really believe in anything, just triggering the other side for their own entertainment. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that yes, I agree. However, I think that sometimes a fusion of information and entertainment can be a really beneficial and good thing. People are ultimately divided more by class than by nationality. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, of course, I strongly agree with this, actually. You would have much more in common with a black person living in your neighborhood than you would with a rich white guy living over in like Beverly Hills or something. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. I think that both of these are important, but I'm going to disagree with that one. Because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulation. I agree with this. I know that a lot of people get really yikesy when it comes to government regulations on corporations, but it's true, and it's been demonstrated time and time again that these massive corporations mainly just care about money, and they cannot be trusted to protect the environment. From each according to his ability to each according to his need is a fundamentally good idea. I'm gonna agree with that. I do think that like people need to have their basic needs covered a lot more than how they are right now, at least. I agree with this in theory. However, I also recognize that sometimes in practice, it does not quite go like this. The freer the market, the freer the people. The freer the market, the freer the people are to choose from multiple options, ideally. The market is supposed to provide the consumer with multiple different options. However, I also think there are limits to a free market, and I think that sometimes corporations get too big. Like, for example, in America, we're not a full-blown oligarchy, but we do have some oligarchy tendencies. The way that these uber wealthy people just control our legal system and just our general society. So I agree with this, but it certainly has limits. It's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled, branded consumer product. I actually disagree with that. I actually think that water being purified and then provided in a convenient bottle, and we have multiple different options to choose from, I think that drinking water is actually a better representation of a free market, rather than like healthcare, for example. I think it's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as medical healthcare is a branded consumer product. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. I guess the argument here would be that land is land and no one should own it. I guess, is this like would this be like a complaint towards capitalism, like controlling everything? I actually strongly disagree with this, because right now we do live in a capitalist society, and if people want to buy and sell land, so be it. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to their society. This really depends on what they're defining as contributing nothing. Even if they are just manipulating money, that's technically contributing to the economy, contributing to jobs, and doing something. However, as far as the question goes, it would be unfortunate that people have personal fortunes doing nothing and contributing nothing to society. So I agree with that yes, it's regrettable. I think that in practice, in real life, people who maybe are just sitting around manipulating money on Wall Street or something should start contributing more to society, like, I don't know, paying their taxes, perhaps. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. I agree with this. Yes, protectionism is sometimes necessary just to get the country that we may be trading with to shape up. For example, we might not want to take goods that are made with like child labor or something. Although we're America, we don't really care about that right now. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. Strongly disagree with that. I recognize the importance shareholders have to their company, but I think that part of a company's responsibility is certainly to provide a adequate work environment for their workers. The rich are too highly taxed. Okay, strongly disagree with that. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. I strongly disagree with this. Strongly. When it comes to some things, I think it's fine for people who are wealthier to have certain privileges over people who are not as wealthy. However, the standard of your medical care should not be based on wealth. Right now in this country, we are currently prioritizing wealth over health. Government should penalize businesses that mislead the public. Yeah, I agree with this. That just goes to show that some regulations are necessary. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. I strongly agree with this. For a free market to truly thrive, there needs to be competition, and when there is a monopoly, there is no competition. All right, let's get to the next page. We're halfway there, guys. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. Ideally, abortion would be made illegal, yes, but that has been shown time and time again, unfortunately, to not actually help the issue of abortion. Instead, we need to keep it legal while we address the issue of abortion from a proactive stance and not a reactive one. All authority should be questioned. Strongly agree. Anyone who doesn't agree with this is probably a loser. America was literally formed because authority was questioned. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Disagree? Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. Yeah, strongly agree with that. I don't want my tax dollars going to prop up theaters or museums or something. No, put that shit towards some healthcare. Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. I'm going to disagree with that. I think there are times where it's probably appropriate, but for the most part, kids need to go to school. All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. Yeah, strongly disagree with that. No. Multiculturalism actually has greatly benefited this country, and it's been demonstrated time and time again that like diversity, even in the workplace, leads to a more productive work environment. Good parents sometimes have to spank their children. I strongly disagree with that. Not a fan. Will, you're about to get spanked. It's natural for children to keep some secrets from their parents. Yeah, I strongly agree with that. I do think it's natural. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. Yeah, strongly agree. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generation to find jobs. I disagree. I think that should be a function of school. However, I think that schools are also supposed to teach children how to think rationally and think logically and think through their problems as well. It's not just about going to find jobs. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. I'm going to go ahead and strongly disagree with that one, because the only way this kind of a thing could be enforced would be via the government, and I don't think the government should be messing around with who does what in the bedroom. The most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. I'm going to disagree with that. I do think that it is important for children to accept discipline, especially if it's from their parents. However, I don't think that's the most important thing. I'm not sure if you can conclusively say what the number one most important thing for children to learn is, but I think that thinking well is probably one of them. There are no savage and civilized peoples. There are only different cultures. So I'm going to go ahead and agree with that. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. Yeah, I agree with that. When you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. I'm going to disagree with that. I think that there are times when you might want to take a step back and not think about whatever it is that's troubling you, but it's also not best to bottle that up. And if it continues to bother you, you might want to talk to a therapist. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their new country. Strongly disagree. Strongly disagree. What's good for the most successful corporations is always ultimately good for all of us. Strongly disagree. This kind of goes back to the whole trickle-down economics thing. Yeah, I disagree with that. I think that sometimes corporations having success does benefit the consumer 100%, but I don't think that successful corporations always ultimately are good for us. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism. Generally speaking, I agree, yeah. A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay progress in a democratic political system. I agree with this, but that doesn't mean that a one-party system is the solution. Although the electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried. Strongly disagree with that. The death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. I strongly disagree with that. I do think there needs to be severe consequences for serious crimes. However, what is a serious crime? Murdering someone? So we're gonna go do that to the person that just did, it doesn't really make sense, and there should be an option for some form of rehabilitation for virtually any criminal. In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with this because yeah, people need a leader, and also there's an element of we don't care about everything going on in the government. However, I don't think that this one person on top and people below to be commanded has to abide by the same dynamic that exists today. I think we should work to make that dynamic much, much better and much more representative of the general population and what the people want also. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered art at all. I disagree with this because, again, what is art? That's all subjective. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. Strongly disagree with that. Rehabilitation would actually go to benefit our society, whereas punishing criminals does nothing. It is a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals. I disagree. It just really depends on what level of rehabilitation we're talking about there. The business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. Strongly disagree. There's a place in our society for all of those things. Not one isn't more important than the other. Mothers may have careers, but their first duty is to be homemakers. Yeah, I strongly disagree with that. There's no gender specification on who needs to be working and who needs to be home. Mothers can be good homemakers, but who's to say men can't be either? Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. Agree. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. I strongly disagree with that. If you're about to tell me the only way to grow up is to start being chill with the establishment, no thanks. All right, we're page 5 of 6. We're almost there, guys. We're almost gonna get the grand reveal. Am I gay? Am I straight? Wait, no, that was a different test. Sorry. Astrology accurately explains many things. Disagree. You cannot be moral without being religious. Yeah, strongly disagree. I know the comparison isn't that great, considering the population sizes are like wildly different, but there have been cultures where they're like primarily atheist and they have very significant like low crime rates and murder rates and so forth. Charity is better than social security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. I'm gonna agree with this. However, just if charity is ultimately better doesn't mean that there shouldn't be better social safety nets in place right now. Some people are naturally unlucky. Strongly disagree with that. It is more important that my child's school instills religious values. Strongly disagree with that. Next page. Page 6 of 6. Sex outside marriage is usually immoral. Strongly disagree with that. A same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the possibility of child adoption. Strongly agree. There have been countless studies over and over and over and over again which have shown that children raised by a stable same-sex family, they have no disadvantages in life because of that. In fact, the only disadvantage that they may have is because of social stigma surrounding their parents being gay. That's it. Pornography depicting consenting adults should be legal for the adult population. I strongly agree with that. I think that the porn industry is disgusting, but if there are two consenting adults, then yeah, that should still be legal for consumption. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of the state. Strongly agree. No one can feel naturally homosexual. Strongly disagree. You know, we've witnessed homosexual behavior in over 400 species. Quick fact, this book is from 1999, and it talks about how homosexuality has been scientifically documented in more than 450 species of mammals, birds, reptiles, insects, and other animals worldwide. And newer information found that 1,500 animal species have been documented practicing homosexuality. These days, openness about sex has gone too far. I disagree with that. I do think that our culture is way too sexualized. However, I don't think that people are like too open about their own sex. All right, let's see where I stand, everybody. Are we ready? The grand reveal. Drum roll, please. All right, here are my results, guys. Economic left/right, negative 3.0. Social libertarian/authoritarian, negative 6.92. So yeah, this is kind of right around where I expected to be. I've already thought that I was a little more center-left, libertarian, kind of in that range. So this is really nothing too surprising to me. But look up here, guys. Come on. I'm close to Gandhi. Dude. But there you guys have it. My political compass test. How fun it was being a selfish, self-indulgent loser talking for an hour about my opinions. Please give this video a like, comment below, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks everyone for watching, and don't forget to check out hunteravalone.tv and subscribe for exclusive content. I will see you all later. Peace.